welcome to the program. I'm Grace Paul Adebayo. It is the responsibility of a government to protect its citizens as well as maintain law and order. One way used in achieving this is through the Nigerian Police Force, as is the channel through which the security functions are carried out. Section 214 of the Nigerian Constitution addresses this. Now, Nigeria has about 200 million population with about 400 police officers, 400,000 police officers. Yet, there are still questions of insecurity or prevalence of insecurity in the country. Now, how can the Nigerian police force protect and discharge their responsibility with the current reality? Are we under-policed or over-policed, yet not secured? These are some of the questions we'll be asking the first public relations officer of the Nigerian Police, Olumuyiwa Adejobi. When we come back, we'll be joined by our guests later. Do stay tuned. Many thanks for joining us. Like I said earlier before I went to the quick break, I'll be joined by the Police Public Relations Officer, in person of Chief Superintendent of the Police, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, joins us virtually from Abuja. Many thanks for joining us, sir. Let's get straight to business. Talking about building confidence in Nigerian police force, you agree with me that the image of any organization can be easily determined by the contact we get from the employees. So what is the force, the police force, what are they doing in terms of to rebuilding the brand's identity? We know that people have had impressions like the good, the positive, the bad, the positive and negative reactions as to the police force. So what is the brand doing to rebuild the brand's identity?
Well, generally, every police institution across the globe is expected to have such negative image, because any moment you enforce any law, you are bound to step on toes, you are bound to have enemies, you are bound to have attackers and haters all over the country. So it's not only affecting the Nigerian police force, even as an individual, as the head of the family, if you are the man that always enforces rules at home, I'm sure the kids will always run away from you. The madman has come, they run away. They go into their bedrooms and lock the door. So it's a natural thing when you are saddled with this responsibility of enforcing the law. You are bound to step on toes, you are bound to have haters, you are bound to have enemies who would not want to see you because of reasons best known to them. So the police generally is having this bad image, generally because of wrong perception of certain Nigerians. Nigerians don't understand our legal framework, so they believe whatever a policeman does is illegal. Whatever a policeman does is unprofessional and is tailored to their own wrong perception generally. What is reputation? Reputation is people's perception about you as an individual. So Nigerians generally have wrong perception about the police. It is not in most cases that their thoughts are actually the facts. These are just myths that somebody can think police are doing this because of. No. You need to assess the police based on empirical facts you have on ground. So if you don't understand the legal framework in Nigeria, you will not be able to place the Nigerian police force. You will not be able to assess the police. You will not be able to have right perception about the police. So generally, the wrong perception people have about the police affecting our image. The police is not bad, but they have wrong perception which is affecting their judgment about the image of the police. Police is not bad. We may not have this forum for this discussion. If you have another forum to talk about the image of the police, I might likely come with analysis and better explanations of what I'm saying.
Okay, like you said, the police is not bad. I know your slogan is the police is your friend, but from what we see, we hear day in, day out on the pages of the papers, their actions, their inactions does not appear to be our friend. For instance, let's talk about the police force and respect for human rights. In carrying out their responsibilities, sometimes they go overboard. They infringe on one's rights. They pry into one's privacy. And imagine an armed policeman says he wants to check one's phone. He's armed. I will just have to. I just have to submit myself to him. But then, at some point, someone will see it as being infringing into one's privacy. How am I supposed, or how are Nigerians supposed to react to this when they say they want to check your phone? Should they be granted access to that?
Well, let me clarify this. There's no law that says police cannot check anything.
Oh.
Police has the power to do stop and search, to search individuals, to search their belongings, and what have you. But the Inspector General of Police made that pronouncement, banning officers from checking phones on the road, while on patrol, while on operations. That is the directive. Your policeman can still search your phone if that phone is subject to investigation, and that phone must have been marked an exhibit in that case. You have no choice than to surrender that phone for search. But for sanity, for standardization, professionalism, and decorum at various police points, that's why we gave directive that our men should not be checking phones on the spot there. When you get to these police points where they check phones, definitely it's going to be rowdy. It's not going to be organized. There will not be any standard. They do what they like there as a market square. But we want sanity when our men are at various points where they are duty on patrol. That is why the IGP gave instruction that policemen cannot search phones. Nigerians, most times, are not getting it right. If you have a case with the police and your phone is an exhibit, you have to surrender the phone for search for further investigation. But on the road, a policeman flags you down, stops you, and said, "Bring your phone." It is not ID. It is not proper. It's not professional.
So what should one do in that situation? In such a situation,
Nigerians can be given enough opportunities to always contact police formations. I've given out my number personally. All command PROs have done so. Commissioners of police have given out their numbers. And we have many social media platforms through which you can get across to us and you switch to action immediately. So Nigerians are to report. In as much as we have deviants in every sector, there's no way we don't have deviants in the police who want to go out of their ways, want to go out of their bands, to tarnish the image of the force, or to do what is not part of our standard operating procedure in the police. So if we have men like this on the road, most of them do this in fear. They don't even want us to know. So all you need is to be patient enough to make the sacrifice of putting a call across to us that, "Come, I am in Ayobo, I am in Isheri, I am in Magodo, I am in Zungeru, I am in Binungwari," anywhere in Nigeria. The policemen at social points are demanding for my phone, sir. By the time they say, "Hello, sir, please pick your phone, the first PRO wants to talk to you," they will change the tune. By the time you call us and want to talk to them, they change the tune. So you know that most of them do what they do in fear and out of the provisions of our police act and regulation, our standard operating procedure. So they know there's punishment for whatever they do. So that's why we encourage Nigerians to always call us when our men are going out of their bands, not only checking our phones. There was a time we made a statement that police has no business in checking custom papers. Because if I give you fake custom papers as a policeman, I don't have the application to check whether it is fake or original. Why can't you focus on your duties as a policeman at a stop and search point? You have to stop the vehicle, search the vehicle and the occupants of the vehicle. If there's nothing incriminating in the vehicle or on the occupants, you allow them to go, for goodness sake. So we need to define duties of our men to them so that they will know why they are at a point at every particular point in time so they will not go out of their bands and they will not go out of the laid down rules and regulations, code and conduct of policing in this country as expected of us. So that is the message.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for that, for educating us. So now, the NSAS demonstration, one of the demands from the demonstrators are that they want improved welfare for the force. And do you find that of the school of thought that there's a connecting tile with the welfare and the conduct of their work? Is there a connecting tie? Because some of them, they feel, we know that last year in 2021, there was an issue. They said there will be an increment, although it has, I have not seen in the pages of paper or read anywhere that if it has been implemented, there will be an increment in their salaries, in their salaries, but then it has not been implemented yet from what we see. So is there a connecting tie within the welfare and the conduct of their work? Perhaps if they are paid well, they will not be able to stop someone to extort money.
Let me start by saying, when you are talking on improvement on the police,
yeah,
don't bring in NSAS palaver into it. It brings or reminds us of the blood, tears, sorrows, agonies, and pains. So I don't want to subscribe to the belief or to the assertion that NSAS was actually done to improve the police or betterment of the police. I want to have that strong conviction that it is not so. Even if the belief or the plans or the agenda of the original agitators was for the betterment of the police.
Yeah.
It was not properly managed to actualize or to achieve their aims or the goals. It at the end of the day turned to pains, agony, blood, tears, and what have you. But generally, the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, has taken the bull by the horn to improve welfare packages for police officers and men. So if you are discussing welfare, let us separate welfare of the police from the violent NSAS saga that has dropped tears, pains, and agony. So let me say that the federal government has promised to do so many things to improve the welfare of the police. The signing of the Nigerian Police Act 2020 is an indication that the federal government is serious about it. You cannot build anything on nothing. You can rather build something on something. For us to have the legal framework to operate the police, to run the police, is a kudos to the federal government. Secondly, the establishment of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, a body established by the federal government to rake money to support the federal government to fund the police, is another feather added to the cap of the federal government. Third, the increment of emolument of police officers is another thing. This one encompasses so many things that are so lengthy for me to analyze on this program. But paramount of which are: one, stoppage of deduction of taxes of police sergeants down. Police sergeants, corporal, constables, they don't pay taxes again. I think it's a welcome development.
Yeah.
Then increments in all areas, generally of emolument, introduction of allowances to police officers and men, they are there. You will recall that there was a time, there was a rumor that policemen want to go on strike, which of course the force headquarters debunked that's a rumor. No policeman, by virtue of his position as a law enforcement agent, by virtue of his oaths of allegiance, oaths of secrecy, and many oaths, this one too, as an officer of the law in Nigeria, there are things you don't do. If you have grievances, if you have issues to sort out, what you can do is to write to the IGP and your issues will be addressed. So that time, we could not see anybody coming out to say, I want to lead my men to go on strike. And of course, ghosts don't go on strike. We don't deal with ghosts. So that's why we debunked that. After all, the news came out from certain incredible media outfits, media platforms that we know that when they write today, don't even go there to read because they are not credible. So we neglected that and we started moving forward. The federal government has done what they should do. Certain payments have been made. But the funniest thing is that nobody is coming out to say this has been done, this has been done. I think we want to keep this secret to ourselves so that our spouses who are there monitoring increment in our salary will not giving us additional burden. But I can say it as I speak with you. I don't think I'm going to see any police personnel that will be raising any eyebrow against such, that this is not good, is not that. No, we have better welfare now. And also that the IGP is looking into insurance policy of the police. We have just registered a Nigerian police insurance company that is strictly in charge of our insurances, which is very paramount to us. Our medical facilities are excellent, with the construction and commissioning of more than 200 health facilities across the length and breadth of the country. Then, building and construction and commissioning of model police stations. Very soon, we are going to start commissioning of this. The IGP has built 120 model police stations. Each one is having fine office accommodation, furniture, computer, ICT, welfare, and what have you. Very standardized cell facility. And of course, each of them is having study buildings of barrack accommodation attached to each of these model stations. So what we have on ground is fantastic. By the time we start rolling out this, I am sure many of our men will even come out to praise the government, to praise the present leadership of the police for what they are doing towards improvement on welfare packages of police personnel. Or do you want me to talk of introduction of modern gadgets? We want to move away from lethal weapons. Not all the time we're using AK-47 rifles and what have you. So we have body armor and personal protection equipment that the IGP has procured, and teasers on lethal weapons that we're going to use. More so now that we're moving towards general elections, we dwell more now and we focus more on items that we need for crowd control, because that is what we are going to battle with now for almost 4 months. With the timetable of INEC giving us almost 4 months for campaigns and other political activities. So with what we are doing now, we want to make policing easier for our men via better welfare package, via ICT-based approaches, training and retraining, and improved kitting system, giving uniforms, fine shoes, fine everything, that an average policeman must be seen and be attractive to an average Nigerian. That is our mission. That's the vision we have now, and we are working on this, and we achieve a lot in this regard.
That's some great developments there, I must say. But we'll come to the issue of the forthcoming general elections. We are not done yet. But let me take you back. Not too long ago. The Lagos Command, the PRO, Benjamin Hundeyin, I know that we have some reports that he tried to behave like a common man in the streets of Lagos at night. And we learned that a policeman could not even recognize him. And then he had to say, oh, you have to tell him to give him some money. Like, it's just like is it a gift? Or what will I call that now?
Social experiment. Social experiment. A set of policemen arrested me sometimes and put me behind the bar when I was the PRO Lagos before I moved to Abuja before my appointment. Wow. We have been doing social experiments for a very long time. We do this because we feel the pulse of Nigerians, we feel their yearnings and certain aspirations from members of the public to actually know what our men do on the field. Incidentally, we do some of this in response to people's requests. But at the same time, you see the Nigerians will still come out to attack you. You see the way they were eating Ben, behold the bed, because Ben did this, what we call social experiment, to feel pulse of people, to feel what we feel, to feel what people feel, and possibly to see how we can come in to correct certain things. We cannot please everybody. It's not possible. We can only try our best possible to make sure we standardize the police the way it should be. It's quite unfortunate that many Nigerians will lack what we call local knowledge. It's a very simple thing. When you get to a particular environment, what you should do is to know and get familiar with that particular environment. Many of them don't do it. If I get to a party now, by the time I enter the event, any event center, event hall, what I will look for is to assess they vet all, look for exits, in and out, in case there's any emergency. Then I locate myself at that position. If you like, put me on the air table. If that table is not secure for me, I'll tell you I'm not going to sit there. I'm going to sit where if there's any attack, I'll be able to escape on time. Your own defense first before you do anything. To be safe is to feel unsafe. That's what we say in security business. So generally, our men on the field at times, if you disguise, they won't know. I don't blame them. The day I was arrested at night is during COVID-19 curfew. They said I move at night, it's past 12, and what have you. I actually went out because I received complaints from Nigerians that between 12 and 4 a.m., our policemen in that area, some areas in Lagos, will be arresting people, packing them behind the counter, collect money, and release them before 4. Before even the DPO or their commander will report to duty. Wow. So I went out to go and do this and assess them, and they arrested me in areas very close to my office at the Keja. Wow. I was behind the counter. I stayed there for 30 minutes. I studied them. I saw what they were doing, and I had enough evidence to put them in the cell. I put them in the cell for almost a week, and I took necessary steps to discipline them. So if we go out to assess situations, we go out for what we call social experiments to assess things for us to be able to improve on our operations. So when you meet our men on the road, like I always say, we always give them, even me, we give them respect. Normal thing is you wind down your glasses, you talk to them, turn down the volume on your radio or your deck in the vehicle. They will not enjoy when you are blasting music. It's like you are oppressing them. Custody demands you stop when they flag you down, wind down your glasses, talk to them, attend to them, respect them. They will respect you. But we have some that even if we respect them, they always misbehave. Those are the ones we have our checkmating mechanisms for. You report to us. And I like I said sometimes ago, if a policeman does anything wrong to you, do not pounce on him. Do not beat him up. More so if it's on uniform. Even if it's on mufti and it's on duty at that time, don't beat a policeman. Don't beat even last man. Even trace, road safety, correctional service officer. Don't beat any government security official on duty. It is criminal. If the law will go after you, we even forget, the law will forget, the law will abandon what the man had done to you, preceding their own resultant response or action or reaction. So please, we need to understand ourselves to see how we can get this right. Our men on the field are there to protect you. They are there to maintain peace, law, and order. When you get to them, approach them. When you get to them, talk to them politely. They are going to reciprocate whatever you do. Don't allow them, because they'll be standing in the sun for long. They are there, standing, doing the job. You are in your AC, in your car, E-Class, C-Class, Bentley, whatever you drive. Respect them when you get to their points. And I'm sure they're going to respect you. Nigerians have wrong perception, like I said. The moment you see a police point at a distance, you pick an offense, you frown your face, you don't want to be friendly. No.
That's because of what they've done in time past. Okay, let's not forget this. We know in this country, what you even did, your story, what you said is quite alarming. Do you think the issue of community or rather state policing can help the sports to know themselves? For instance, it's surprising knowing that you were at one point arrested by the police force, by your people. If at all it's the state police, they'll be able to know themselves, and then they'll be able to even know the system, the area. They will know the locality, the areas. Like they'll be able to get closer to the people. What's your perception on the issue of state policing?
Well, generally, it's not enough for us to be on this platform and be discussing creation of state police, because it goes beyond us. Yeah, it's a constitutional matter. Whatever you like, no matter how keen you are to it, no matter how interested you are in community policing or state policing, is not what you can be discussing here, because it goes beyond us. It's a constitutional matter. So let us leave that one for those who are in charge of the constitution review and what have you. But apparently, community policing concept is very, very good, that you police your environment, You are to be recruited from that locality. You are to be trained and sent back to that locality. There's nothing wrong about it. And that's why in the last 2 or 3 years now, those constables we have been recruiting, we will recruit them from their local government and we send them back to that local government. We recruit you from local government, you go back to that local government. That's the directive for the president, and we have been doing this. Hopefully, by the time we do this for years, we're going to have community policing in place properly in our various localities. But for the issue of education of personnel, education of individuals is a personal thing. At times you see somebody in your community, in your estates, that don't bother to know you. And it's a modern thing. We have allowed our Western culture, Western exposures to override the Africanism in us. Africanism in us is esprit de corps. The esprit de corps is togetherness and brotherhood. This is my personal person. Whether you're from the same family or not. As an African man, we are all equal. We share so many things in common: color, skin, dental formation, formula, everything. The melanin in us, the keratin in us, the hormones in us, very common because we belong to the African or the black race. So, but in the states now, somebody living close to you in your estate may not even know you, may not know anything about you. So it's a general cultural decadence and what I call cultural or social dislocation that's affecting us generally, not only in the police. People don't care to know the next person to you, and it is wrong. It's affecting us. In Yoruba, it's called Koko Jabele, Kalikulo Shete, which means I am on my own. I don't send you. I don't want to know you. I got nothing to do with you. It is wrong. It's alien to us. It's not part of us. So Nigerians must bring out that Africanism in us, which I believe in return, it will help our security system. It will help our social structures. It will help our national structures and individual psyche or mentality towards having better security in our various communities and society in general. So it's not only limited to the police. I'm sure in your station, the next neighbor might not even know anything you do. Whether you have a television station, you have a radio station, he might not even know. They don't care now. It is a strange thing to us. It is not part of us. Let us shun this. Embrace one another. The concept and principle of esprit de corps must come to play. Togetherness and the Africanism in us will be obvious to all and sundry to see that we are one Nigeria, we are one Africa.
Okay, we are due for a break now. We'll take a moment and return to talk about the preservation of law and order. Many thanks for staying tuned. We still have the CSP and the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi. So before I went to the people, we talk about the preservation of law and order. Now, the issue of jungle justice, we see people trying to help the police or help the security personnel. They catch a thief somewhere and feel like, oh, before we call the police, let us do this. Let us catch him before he runs away. How is the police dealing with the matter of jungle justice?
Well, jungle justice, as the name implies, is jungle, inhuman, barbaric, and criminal in nature. We don't support it in any way. We condemn jungle justice because it's a minus to our criminal justice system or administration of justice generally. Killing a suspect has killed our investigation, has killed our progress of prevailing justice, and it is not good in any way. Nigerians have the right to arrest any suspect who they reasonably suspect to have committed an offense. Section 12 of the Criminal Procedure Act, law of this country, has empowered every Nigerian to effect arrest. But when you effect this arrest, hand over to the police or any security agency around you. It's not for you to pounce on this person and lynch the person. No, it is criminal. We don't support it. We don't succumb to that. But we can say people always tend to take laws into their hands when they believe that law enforcement agencies will not do the right thing. Generally, if you ask someone, they will say if you hand over to police, they will let loose the case. They won't do anything. Police are known for that. That one still goes back to my first statement that people have wrong perception about the police. There are laws in the land. We need to follow the laws. We need to follow our procedures when we have cases like that. If you have a case, there's a difference between a case of stealing from person, robbery, and armed robbery. And each and every one of these cases has his own punishment accordingly. So if you don't understand what the law is saying, you believe the police is the one doing nonsense. If you arrest people who are smoking Igbo, you cannot, because they smoke Igbo, and keep them mentality in the cell. No. If you arrest them for smoking Igbo, that's Indian hemp, you recover Igbo from them. It's either you hand over to NDLA to carry on with further investigations, or you charge them to court. Even at that, the law is still saying there are certain quantity of the Indian hemp you have to recover from them before they be ripe for prosecution. So we always have limitations when we're discussing these laws. We have point to prove these laws. If any one of the point to prove a case is missing, you don't have credible evidence to prosecute that case. So the best you can do is to release the person on bail, let him go. Then you profile him the more to get more credible information. So Nigerians don't understand some of these laws. They don't understand these provisions. For instance, a case, if somebody is arrested with 10 human heads, as a Nigerian, what Nigerian will tell a policeman is, come, this man, no, he don't kill 10 people, go kill him. That's the mentality of an average Nigerian. But the law is saying no. The law says you can only arrest that person for low possession of human head or human's cause. And then the story begins. You need to profile and do more investigation to know if this man was actually the one responsible for the death of these 10 people. Then you are going to carry the heads you have recovered from him. Go and match each one of the heads to all the 10 corpses. If you see the corpses, then you require the efforts of a pathologist to match the head, to do DNA test, to know that this head belongs to this body. Then when you now have a complete corpse or corpses of the 10 corpses, then the investigation continues. Who killed them? If this man was not the one that killed these 10 people, but he only went there to go and assume the corpses to cut the heads, he's not, you can't charge that man for murder. You can only charge the man for low possession of human heads or human's cause. It's a bailable offense, my sister. And if you arrest that person, you hand over to the police. And the following day, the man is released, and you see him in your streets. You will say the police have come again. They have collected money, and they have released this man who has killed 10 people. The law is not seeing the way we are seeing it. So wrong perception about the understanding of the legal framework, understanding the procedure, understanding the law is killing the police, affecting our image, because people have wrong perception about it. Then they will say the police have done the way they do. We gave them somebody who killed 10 people with human heads. Now the man is off the hook. He's on bail. Police have collected money. But it's wrong, because a bailable offense. You cannot actually handle that man or arrest that man or hold him responsible for the death of the 10 people whose heads have been cut off or exhumed.
We don't have that. They don't have the knowledge. They say knowledge is power. Away from that, as we quickly wrap up, on the issue of ratio of the police to citizen, the United Nations recommends it should be one police officer to 450 citizens. In Nigeria, according to my research, I found out that we have about 400,000 police officers with a population, a growing population of over 200 million Nigerians. And we still have the issue of prevalent issue of insecurity in the country. Where did we miss it? Is it that Nigerian is under-policed? Or is it, we over-policed yet under-secured?
No.
What's the problem?
No, we're having problem in Nigeria now because of patriotism. By provisions of our law, by the legal framework, by everything being provided for in Nigeria, every Nigerian is a police officer. I've just told you now, there's a provision of the law that's saying every Nigerian has the right to arrest. Who is a policeman? Who is a policeman? So invariably in Nigeria, we're having more than 200 million police officers. So what's the problem we're having now? The problem is that people don't have belief in our sovereignty. They don't have trust in the system. They believe our system is not working. By definition, Section 12 of Criminal Procedure Act, you as a person have the right to arrest. If you see somebody doing the wrong thing, Have you ever, for once as a Nigerian, reported cases of those who smoke Igbo around you? Cases of those you see that they do pickpocketing? Cases of those that you do theft or stealing or batteries in your street, in your estate, removing tires, spare tires of vehicles? We don't care about all this. By what we have on ground, every Nigerian is expected to be a police officer. But are we
so
actually
what's our ratio? So what's the ratio of Nigerian police to the population? Are we
It's
under,
not,
are we,
see,
okay.
get my point.
Okay.
For now, even if we don't have enough personnel, we are not going to be relating it to whether we are under police or we don't have police, or we have shortage of manpower or no shortage of manpower.
Can help in solving
With the system,
a problem of insecurity.
That's what I'm saying. Nigerians must be patriotic enough to know that policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone. Every Nigerian is a member of policing structure of the country.
So
we are just police officers are just
they
are just paid agents. So don't leave the job for the paid agents alone. It's our statutory and civil responsibility to police ourselves, police our immediate communities, and police our entire society. So forget about the issue of ratio 1 to 300, ratio 1 to 1 million is immaterial for now. What can we do as a Nigerian that we're having these common enemies who are attacking us on a daily basis? The situation in Nigeria is not an act of insecurity, but rather I see it and I perceive it to be an act of patriotism. That Nigerians are not happy, they are angry, and we are killing one another. Those who are killing Nigeria, they are not strangers. They are Nigerians. People in the Northeast, the bandits, killing their fellow brothers and sisters in the Northeast, they are from this place. People who are killing in the Northwest, they are from this place. Excuse me, those who are killing in the Southeast, IPOB, ESN, they are Igbo people. They are not strangers. How do you juxtapose or explain a situation whereby a brother in the family meeting pulls out his pistol and is killing his siblings? Is that a heart of insecurity? No. Something is wrong somewhere. And I want to believe that these new trends of challenges and be attributed to embracement or adopting strange ideologies that are affecting us because they are not in conformity with our culture, our tradition. These are strange ideologies that are killing us, and it's affecting our livelihood, our existence, our coexistence, and affecting or threatening the sovereignty of Nigeria as a republic.
So, Mr. Olumuyiwa, I cannot let you go without talking about the forthcoming elections. We know that in Osun and Ekiti, there were reports on the pages of the paper that there were the people were brazenly buying votes, and then the police turned a blind eye in 60 seconds. Can you tell us what's the responsibility of the police in that situation?
Well, police is a major security agency that will midwife conduct of any elections in the country with INEC. Other security agencies are supporting the police, and we are mindful of this. We have taken the bull by the horn to make sure we have solid and, of course, laudable election security management come 2023 general elections. Vote buying is a new thing coming on board, and it's a lie if anybody is saying they saw the police in Osun or in Ekiti turning their faces away from vote buying. I was in Ekiti personally. I was in Osun personally. People put calls to me. At the end of the day, they are fake calls. That I will rush down to that place, I will see nothing. In Osogbo, they told me there was a bullion van in one of the grammar schools at Izio Cafe or somewhere. I raced down to that place, not even a bullion van. No bullion van, let alone that there was money kept in the vehicle. Nothing like that. People, the girl in Ekiti, I challenge media houses now. After all, we deploy police in Ekiti and Osun. The same thing media houses deploy their operatives on the field.
I'm afraid that's how much we can take. I've been speaking with the first public relations officer of the Nigerian Police Force, Olumuyiwa Adejobi. Many thanks for your time. Many thanks for staying tuned. I'm Grace Paul Adebayo. Have a great day ahead.